Can I trust in you if I give you my trust?
Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Happy Mother's Day. My name is Adrienne Williams. I am the Senior Brand Strategist at Playboy. And on behalf of Playboy and the entire team that put this incredible weekend together, we just want to thank you for spending your time with us this week. And we are so blown away by the beautiful faces and the engagement and everything with the crowd. So thank you for that. Just thank you for stepping foot into the Playhouse. It's pretty awesome, right? So we are honored. We as a brand, we are honored to hold space for diverse conversations around representation, cannabis reform, gender politics, and now our favorite subject, sex. Okay, all right. So while you're here, I just want to encourage you all to tweet, snap, gram, post, do whatever you want. Anything you see here, just please do whatever you want. The Instagram handle is the Playhouse, and our hashtag is PlayhouseLA. So I want to get to the good stuff right away so we can get started. I want you all to know that this is a safe space. We're about to get intimate. We're about to get very spicy. I want you guys to get vulnerable. Shan is going to ask you guys a lot of questions, so we encourage you to speak up, be vocal, and participate. Again, this is a very safe space. We want to create a space where everybody can pursue pleasure, and this is that space this afternoon. So let me officially welcome you to the Playboy Advisor Live. So readers and fans of Playboy have relied on Playboy Advisor for decades for knowledge and insight and facts on anything and everything from redefining what cheating means, how to engage in a throuple, and even man-scaping. If you don't know what a throuple is, save that question for later. You have plenty of opportunities to ask that. So the Playboy Advisor is kind of like the sex educator we never had growing up. And so we at Playboy are really excited to have that live today. So today we are bringing you a really energetic discussion around sex, dating, and relationships with my personal favorite board-certified sexologist, Shan Boodram, a.k.a. Shan BOODY. Give it up for her, please. In a time when 26 states still don't require sex education, Shan BOODY joins the Playhouse this weekend to spill the tea, challenge our beliefs, and really give us the information on getting off and falling in love. Shan BOODY is a sexologist, popular YouTube personality, and an intimacy expert. She has appeared on The View, MTV, E!, The Rachel Ray Show, The Steve Harvey Show, CNN Radio, and has been featured in the New York Times, Forbes magazine, Time magazine, and of course, Playboy. She is the author of the upcoming book, The Game of Desire, available everywhere on July 23rd, where books are sold, and you can purchase a pre-order right now on thegameofdesire.com, so please be sure to support. So I am so honored to introduce the beautiful, the illustrious Shan BOODY. Please help me welcome her.
Oh, this has a talker on it. Hello, lovers and friends. I want to give a shout out to the lady who gave me a rose today. I'm not picking favorites, but I fuck with you. That's for damn show. I'm really excited about today, and it's all about participation. Can I get a participation up in here? Participation. I'm going to give you a little bit about my backstory, and then I want to turn over to you and learn all about you, because to me, this is the unique experience that I was dying for when I was growing up. An open and, can I say, honest conversation about sexuality in a safe space with smart, fine as fuck, stylish, cool, hot, coordinated, monochromatic, cool as fuck individuals that I'm so grateful to call community in this space right here. So that's just a moment of thanks right now to God for this beautiful moment that we have in front of us. My first sexual experience happened when I was 4 years old. It was consensual. It was me and a pillow. And it was a lot of fun. My friend was there as well, too, and we were just like, show your pillow your shoulder. Show your pillow your shoulder. Give your pillow a kiss. And I remember it being a really positive, fun experience. It was me expressing myself in a sexual way. Well, this heifer went and told the next day. Not in like a bad way. She's like, Mom, guess what we were doing last night? And then from that point on, all my sexual expression was shut down. My parents found out, all my Barbies no longer could be naked, always had to have clothes on, and I was just in a really sexually repressed state. I went to a Catholic school. I had West Indian parents, so the conversation around sex was just like, don't. And as a result of that, I really always was very sexually precocious. You know how some kids at a young age just drawn to the piano? I was just drawn to down here. It was just like I was really attracted to physicality. I was attracted to touch, to love, to intimacy. And that, mixed with repression, leads you to find some backdoor places. And I am a leading edge millennial. It means I'm a little older than the average millennial, but just old enough to know that porn was accessible to me at 13 years old. On dial-up, but still there. Still there. So porn was my sexual educator. Anybody here know the book, The Coldest Winter Ever?
Yes!
Oh.
My favorite book.
Okay, me too. But wait, let's talk about it though. So in The Coldest Winter Ever, the main character has multiple orgasms her first time having sex. And it was just like the dick just grazed the opening and she was just convulsing, right? So I'm like, yes, facts, good to know. That's what's gonna happen when I have sex for the first time. And so that was a great way to manage expectations. And so obviously, when you've got porn as your educator and fiction novels and fiction TV shows, you don't really tend to have the best sex life. So I lost my virginity at 16. I know that's not the best term. Whatever you choose to use is right for you. It just feels right for me. But I had my first sexual experience at age 16 with a partner with penetration. And after that, it was just a downhill slope of not that great experiences. And by the time I turned 19, I was like, fuck, this sucks. You know, this entire time I've been looking forward to this part of my life, and I had been hyping up sexuality, and it turned out to be a massive letdown. So I went away to school in Baltimore on a track and field scholarship, and that was the first time that I was with women 24/7. And in that environment, just kind of like this right here, you know, morning practice, afternoon practice, weekend track meets, anybody who does sports, you know what I'm saying right now, you're basically a slave to the school. They call it a scholarship, more or less. You're paying for every single dollar with all your injuries. So through this experience, this community, I was able to finally have these honest conversations about sex. I was honestly able to talk to somebody who was HIV positive, still enjoying their sexuality, friends who had tried anal sex, friends who had tried same sex, friends who, like me, hadn't quite figured it out yet. And in that opportunity to hear others and learn from them, I was like, okay, I found something here. So I actually went back to Canada, which is where I'm from. Anybody from Toronto? Okay, it's worth a try, so thank you for that. So I went back to Canada, and the first thing I did was get myself a library card. And I was like, okay, let's try this shit again. And I read every single book on sex education I could possibly find. And through that time, that summer of research, what I learned is that sex education is fascinating. It is revolutionary. It is really, really cool. It is mind-blowing, but it's boring as fuck. You know, it's like all those interesting stories that I was drawn to as a teen weren't there. Those sexy characters, those moments that you can see yourself wanting to be a part of. And so I saw a need for someone to merge the two worlds together, to make sex education sexy. So I went to school for journalism, and they say in journalism school, write what you know. Like if you know blazers, like you know your mama. You write about blazers, right? Like if you know sneaker fashion, you write about that cult fashion. If you know politics, of course. And I thought to myself, I feel like at this point, I kind of know fucking. And so I made that what I studied in school. I made that what I talked about. And when I graduated, I became a sex education counselor through a program called PsyCon in Canada. And I worked at a university for a couple of years. Moved to California a few years later, got my associate in sex ed, then became a certified sexologist in 2016. So it's been a long journey for me. I'm celebrating 10 years in this space. 2009, my first book, Laid, came out. And I'm just here to say, anybody can do this shit. You know, I think when I think about the Playboy Advisor, or I think about that person who has that role in the community of ask me anything, right? Traditionally, it's like they are the beacon on top of the hill with all the knowledge, and they disseminate just a little crumb at a time, like just what you need. Where for me, when I think about the legacy I want all of you to be sexual educators. I want everybody here to be an expert on their own love life. I want you to be that motherfucking friend in your group who people come to and ask you for questions. Because at the end of the day, majority of us have the internet and Amazon Prime. So you can order so many incredible books and start so many awesome conversations. And today, I want to treat you all like experts of your own experiences. I want to empower you all to then take that expertise and further it with conversations that go beyond this space, with books, and above all else, with your time and dedication. And so in order to do that, we're going to kick this off. I'm going to answer a bunch of questions that have been asked throughout the ages of the Playboy Advisor role. But we're in this together. So I want you guys to take part as well. That's my spiel. Okay. So now that you know just a little bit about me, I would also like to know a little bit about you guys as well as a group. Of course, I can't go around person by person, although I'm just drawn to some of you. Just you, you're just gorgeous. So I just want to just say, it's just, yeah. Jerry, it's my husband's right here, but he knows what it is. You had to. So Adrienne gave an incredible introduction for me. But the one thing that she did forget to mention is that I am also a numerologist. As a matter of fact, I have studied this for decades upon decades. I have traveled east, west, north, and occasionally to south to get the best on this practice. And so when I say I know what I'm talking about, I know what I'm talking about. All right, so do me a favor. Right now, clear your head. Clear all that space out, all that okay, whatever happened earlier, you didn't call your mom for Mother's Day, do it later on. Remember to do that. Pick a number from up to 3, anywhere up to 3. Just choose a number right now, whatever comes to mind. Do you have your number? Okay. Can I have all my ones raise their hand? All my ones, if you chose 1 just now, like 3 of you guys? Okay. Everyone look around, see the ones, give them a little, okay, we acknowledge you, I see you, I see you. These are greedy motherfuckers in the bedroom, okay? Number 1s here, they want to come first, and they want to make sure they come every single time. Number 1s want to put themselves first. They are pillow princesses and princesses. But we love you guys for that. That's okay. Number 3, where my number 3s at? Okay, there's a lot of people who are number 3s here, which makes sense. You see everybody? All right, these people doing the most. All right? Doing the most. I could have said choose a number from 1 to 50,000. They would have chosen 50,000. So when you have a sexual session with them, take some time off work, cancel your plans, stretch before, do some research, cleanse your chakras. It's about to be a time. Number 2s. Any number 2s in the house? You know what? To be honest, I also chose 2. We're perfect. We're pretty balanced lovers. We're givers. We're takers. We like to do a lot, but we also like to listen a lot, too. So round of applause for yourself. To everybody, my 1s, my 2s, and my 3s. If you chose 0, come see me after for a private lap dance, because you on that new shit. I'm really into it. I want to do one more activity. Again, this is all about talking. It's about using your voices today. So this is a quick vocal exercise. We're going to split the room. Hi, friends!
I didn't want to interrupt.
No, you did. It's okay. How do you not interrupt looking like you?
I didn't know what to do.
You're not very subtle. See? Yeah, you're not very subtle. You're not. And I'm into it. She's number 3, just so everyone's clear. Number 3 all the way. All right, so we're going to split the room in 2 halves right here. So right there. Okay, so you right here, you're my ooh side. But it's a section. Oh, someone, who did that ooh just now? Demonstrate, please. A little louder for people in the back. Can you guys try that? You guys right here are my ah side. I'm going to say it's less like a ah and more like ah. You know when someone like shocks you with some shit like ah, like a quick ah. Ah, ah. All right. A little theater for you. Okay, so one more time. I like that. All right, we're going to try and do it quickly. Ready, and 1, 2, 3, and. Together. Okay, good. Now that we're adequately warmed up, so this is going to be done in 2 different parts. I have a bunch of fun questions that I am going to answer, but I'm going to want all of your help as well, too. If you have a thought, a funny story, an anecdote, anything, please feel free to share. Don't wait till the end. Do it now. Don't delay. Get your voice heard today. In addition, who's down to play Truth or Dare? Okay, the 5 of us. And Ari and Amber. So we're going to play Truth or Dare as a group. Now, I have some that I pre-wrote out, but for this, the person beside you can choose your truth or dare, okay? So it's a little bit more community-based, so just make friends with the person. Tell them to be nice to you. We'll get this popping. All right. So as Adrienne mentioned, these are questions that have been collected throughout the past. I'm bad at math. 1960 to now is how many decades ago? 6? 7? Someone help. 6? The past 6 decades of Playboy, questions like these have been asked. I think you'll be surprised that a lot of these questions are ones that could be applicable to today. All right. This one came from July 1965. That's my 1965 laugh. I don't know why that came out. All right. So much emphasis is placed on the complexities of sex today that people frequently don't learn the fundamentals. Like, for example, I'm a girl in her early 20s who knows her way around a boudoir but has never learned to kiss properly. At least I don't think I have. When I'm in the early stages of amour, she's fancy as fuck, first of all, I worry so much about the osculation etiquette that I don't enjoy myself. Please, how long do you hold a kiss? Who breaks first, guy or girl? Is it okay to breathe while kissing? Is kissing a fundamental part of marriage? How many kisses should transpire before you move on to the other things? In short, how do you kiss? You know, when you think about sex, I think about sex in a really broad term. I think about it in sexual expression. I think about it in how I feel about myself, how I engage with others, both close on and close off. And to me, kissing is a massive part of that. I don't like to use the word foreplay. I like core play, because don't skip that shit, ever. And I think kissing is a really big part of that. So is there anybody in the audience today who can give their favorite kissing tip? As a ballpark for anyone else listening right now who can relate to the 1965 and has never really quite figured it out, or if you got a pro tip that you know someone might be able to use later on today, please share. Oh, yes. Are you guys partners? Okay. I'm like, can I get a demonstration? All right, so it's like you do, this is the head here, and you use that here. But what if, devil's advocate here, what if you're given too much tongue, too much of something, and they're trying to pull back, but your hand's there trapping them? Yes. I didn't get to hear it, but I'd like to. Fuck it and bring it in. There's no wrong answers here, guys, okay? People have successfully made out with him before. He's doing great. Yeah. Any other pro tips? Yes, please.
I would say with a nice head tilt to kind of come in so that, you know, you're not like bumping heads or foreheads. But if you tilt your head the way, oh, whoops, wow, okay. Yeah, well, just because I feel like there's too much thinking, who's going in first, who's doing what. If you're leading in, just tilt your head. The other person will go the other way. Get closer. You feeding off of the vibes of the other person. So you're not giving too much, but you want to make sure they're not, you know, like in a unsafe zone. But you're putting yourself out there, so it's okay. Come in. It's fine. I got you.
We had a good conversation the other day about, hello. We were just talking the other day about how hot it is when somebody asks, can I kiss you? Like if they're going in and some people I think might be afraid to like kill the mood or something by being, you know, asking consent, but it's actually really hot, I think. So I'd add that.
Really quick, also be careful about touching the back of a woman's head, because if they have special hair, you may get your hand removed from your body.
We got one more over here.
I would say don't think too much. The most beautiful things in life are free. So when you're free, when you're kissing, then the vibes will connect and you'll be
Yes. Do you know what, though? I think that's an exceptional pro tip. if you're just getting started, I feel like you have to be conscious. And I love the notion of, you know when you kiss somebody and you're like, oh, this is how Greg liked it. You know, you could just tell this is how they kissed their previous lover. It wasn't made for you. It was like, that's what they have learned from the past. That's what they're trying to transfer over. And so I think the first few times, the word consent is great. I think even the hand technique in terms of just judging of like, when do they pull away so I can be conscious of that. My favorite sex tip that I give to people, that's like my Cole's Notes sex tip, is like when you approach any lover, especially in the beginning, but give your partner the benefit of the doubt of doing this throughout, approach them like a tourist, not a tour guide. And I think that we often approach our sexual experiences like a tour guide. Let me show you how good I do this shit. And it's just like, man, I wish we just slowed down and talked about it. Then we wouldn't have the 7 to 8 months of me trying to find a way to get you there. If you have, it's a quick throwaway question, if you have a partner who you can tell is kissing you how Greg liked it, and you don't like that shit, how would you gently try to guide them to a different method? Communication.
Anything, I'm not trying to tell you your ways are wrong, but I'm just trying to communicate my side, and it's a two-way street, and then it's your side and we try to connect.
I love how you started with whoa, because that's not the way I want to hear. Whoa, like you just make out with somebody. But yeah, exactly that. I think communication is such a big, big part of that. One of my favorite things about communication, though, is that we all know it's key, but very seldomly do we talk about what exactly do you say and how do you say it. Another tip I want to throw out there is the yum approach versus the yuck approach. And the yum approach is like, oh, I really like it when you just tease your tongue just at the front of my mouth. It's really, really hot to me. Like, I love when you do that. It turns me on. Versus the like, why is your tongue all the way out here? Why is there, this is saliva. Why did that happen? That's the yuck approach, right? So when we can talk to our partners in terms of what we like, accentuating those things and encouraging those, if they aren't getting the hint, then it might be time to be like, whoa, okay, the tongue is just supposed to stay. It's not supposed to be outside of the body. It's supposed to be inside the combined situation of it. And also, too, my nose is not part of the activity. That might be time for that. But as much as you possibly can, you want to make the conversation. This is one of the things I say, too, when I had that experience at 19 years old in the library. I was like, sex education is not sexy. Often talking about sex is not sexy. It's this really awkward, dry, jagged. It's all the things that we hate in a good sexual experience. So it has to be wet, it has to be fun, it has to be pleasurable, and it should be playful above all else. Who's ready? Oh, should we do truth or dare right now? Yes. Okay. All right. Who's down right now to just volunteer themselves? Oh, yes. All right. Truth or dare? Truth. Okay, so you can choose a person beside you to give a truth. If you want to pass to me, oh, I got some stuff for you. So, but we'll in grace. Does anybody beside have a truth question? Just leaving it open.
Well, I'm attracted to energy. Like, my whole thing is sensual motivation.
Yes.
So that's what I offer. And it's deeper than sex. So, like, how often do I have sex? Not that often.
But how good is the sex?
The sex is incredible. But, you know, like, it's like what turns me on is more the energy spark. Like, it's no pressure, it's not forced. You know, like, no, don't grab don't grab my head, because you're going to know if I want to kiss you. You're going to know, like, it's just like, it's a fire. Like, you see the fire, I feel the fire. It's just a connection.
Who else feels a fire right now? That was really hot. I'm such a big fan of the quote, be the change you wish to see in the world. So if you want a world that's more sensual, that plays it more cool, that really is more of a sapiosexual into that mental connection, it's like you just embodied everything that you requested in the way that you responded to that question. So that was really an enjoyable performance for me. So thank you for sharing. All right, who's ready to travel to 1962? Cars were just being invented. I'm not sure if that's true. I'm not a historian. All right. What can you do about a girl who wants to know everything about your past sex life? I'm dating a sweet young chick who is very liberal-minded about such things. She says there must be no secrets between us, and that unless she knows all about my past affairs, she can't possibly enter into a mature and understanding relationship. But I'm damned if I want to air my past escapades either for her or anyone else. How can I cope? So this is a really interesting question about numbers. Just by a show of hand, how many people here feel compelled to reveal their number to new sexual partners? How many people are like, mind the business that pays you? Somewhere in the middle. Okay, I would love to hear from in the middle. Yes.
Well, truthfully, because it's not that many, so sometimes I feel like that's.
Oh, you think it's a cute number?
I feel
That's
like
why.
it's a strength. You know, I feel like sometimes it makes my partners feel special. Like, oh, you number 4. You know? So yeah, it's kind of that.
Yes, somewhere in the middle. Yes.
Hey. I feel like it's somewhere in the middle because I feel like within the conversation they're not ready for everything, and I don't know why I feel like my partners get a little jealous even though it's my past. So I feel like I want to tell you the things that made me who I am more than just like expose all these unnecessary events that happen that I'm a different person from. I'm just a different person now, so I don't even want to get into it. You know what I mean?
But you get into it a little bit, you're saying.
Yeah, like the important ones.
Well, okay. So to define what is a sexual experience worth sharing in future and ones that you're like, that's all good.
The people that I spent time with that have made a huge impact on who I am as a person, that I feel like I can share those experiences with you because it makes sense, because it was like, oh, milestones that make sense for the moment. You know what I mean? But not every sexual experience.
Yes, I like that. Has anybody a not share that wants to share why they don't feel compelled to share their number? Oh, yes, I'll take you, Adrian, for 500.
The number's not 500, just to be very clear. Just leveling that out. Well, we talked about this upstairs in the green room. I think that there is kind of like a social construct around the number of people that we sleep with, and it becomes this kind of like slut clock, like, oh, 1 to 5, you a good girl. 5 to 10, ooh, you naughty, but still good. 10 plus, I don't really know about that, and that has nothing to do with the character of who we are as a person. Sleep with however many people you want. Sleep with nobody. Like we talk about sexual freedom at Playboy. Sexual freedom is sleeping with whoever or nobody, and it really to me it just doesn't really matter.
I live for an overshare.
I'm definitely someone who had that experience of sleeping with many people. I had that in my past.
Live your life.
I lived it up.
Hey.
I did everything I wanted to fucking do. But when you meet the person that you really end up feeling, this is my person, this is who I want to be with, then I think in that case, all that matters is that you're clean, you're getting checked out,
Yes.
you are safe, and that's all that matters, is that you can prove that like you have nothing that they need to worry about, that you need to worry about. Just continue doing your thing. But if that person, wants to share their time with you in that way, then, they shouldn't be that insecure to want to know how many people you've slept with in the past. That shouldn't matter. So if it's like that, I'm sorry, you need to go, because I'm not going to expose that to you. That's none of your business. But that's it.
No, I live for that. I'd love to steal from everyone who just answered. I think those are all incredible. The questions that I think are relevant are, have you been tested for sexually transmitted infections and diseases recently? And what is your sexual status? Those are important. That's an important question. And also, have you slept with any of my homies or anyone that I might know, right? Just to avoid an awkward situation. Is there anybody in my zeitgeist or in my pool of world that we might be in the same room at the same time that might cause some discomfort for me? Aside from that, it is genuinely just a question of gaining intimate connections and trust is built through consistency over time. And so divulging your family history will take consistency over time, right? Divulging your personal traumatic past events or even your dreams for a lot of people, that's an intimate space you have to enter into, and that's a space that you have to earn versus one that is supposed to be just given to you. I think it goes back to what Adrian said about this idea that we have ownership over the sexuality of our partners, regardless of how long we've known them, regardless of how much we have built an intimate connection with them. We have this idea that once we become partners, your sexuality is now my business. I do believe also, lie if you need to. right? It's one of those things where nobody has a Google search to the number that is true or not true. You say what makes you feel comfortable in that moment, and later on you can share and be like, you know what? Give the Amber answer. I just told you the ones that actually really matter to me. It's actually 17 times that number. But that is something that it is your number, it is your sexuality. The questions that you should never lie about is your sexual health status. The questions you should never lie about is, have there been any intimate partners in my circle? Because you never want to put your potential partner in an embarrassing situation. But the rest of the stuff, I mean, I'm all for fuzzy. That's just me. All right, one more truth or dare. Can I just pick somebody? It's going to be you, for sure. You got to shaky eyes. Yes. Okay, truth or dare? Truth. Do you have a truth question?
Have you ever turned down someone because of their appearance, lied to them about it, and then regretted it? Or how'd you feel?
I mean, I've definitely turned someone down because I wasn't attracted to them physically. But I don't know. Sorry. I don't know. I'm kind of maybe I'll put it in like a nightclub situation. I grew up in nightclubs, so mine usually would be like I would always find like an excuse to like go somewhere else in the room. So like I had to go get my friend a drink, or I had to go do something. Like I had to go like meet someone in the bathroom. I don't know. Like I would just I'm a runaway. I ran away. That would be my answer. That's my truth.
I love it. I live for your truth. All right, can we do a dare? Who's down for a dare? When you volunteer others, you volunteer yourselves. That's great too. We all know that one. Ari, you down to do a dare? Okay, let me find a good one for you.
I don't know. Well, I'm like.
All right, Amber, do you have a dare that you want to give, or can I? All right. Ari, my dare for you is for you to send a sexually suggestive picture to the last person that you have texted. But wait, is there any photographers in the room? Can I get a photographer to come forward and creative direct this moment? All right, you're made for this moment. I chose wisely. Yes! Pull it out! Whip that shit out! That's great. I really like my job, guys. It's really fun. All right, let's move on to the 70s. Yeah, baby. All right, the 70s. A friend of mine who is a successful composer of some very groovy music claims he never indulges in sexual intercourse during periods of creativity, some of which may last for weeks, and attributes his success to this fact. Is there any scientific evidence that abstaining from sex heightens the powers of creativity? Oh, it's true.
It's true, and it's scientifically proven. And if you really want to know, just look up like people like Napoleon Hill, Nikola Tesla. Like, look at Nikola Tesla, everything he's accomplished. Okay, no, stop. So here's the thing. First off, we were created from sexual energy. We are all creators. We know that, right? So if we actually preserve our sexual energy and charge it to our creativity with intention, we create some of the greatest changes for the world.
Yeah, but like, who fucks the most? Athletes and creative people?
Well, they're kind of like on payroll. We're not talking about like, you said scientifically proven, right?
Yes. I think I agree with you because I genuinely believe in my heart that whatever you think is true is true.
Yeah.
I think that whatever you act, you are the thought creator. You are reflects. The world's a mirror to you. And so if a kid, for example, believes there's a monster in his closet and as a result doesn't go to bed, doesn't go to the bathroom at night, doesn't walk on the cracks in his bedroom, keeps the covers up to his neck, it doesn't matter if there's a monster in his closet or not. He's created a lifestyle that suits the monster. So the monster is there. And I think sex and testosterone, when you use it, you produce more of it. So we are sexual beings who are designed to sex. As a matter of fact, our bodies give us a lot of health benefits for having consensual, awesome, orgasmic experiences that can actually lead to a lot of creative outlet and a lot more clarity of mind. But I absolutely agree that there are people who do find that there is a massive link between what they put out into the world this way and what they can put out into the world this way. And there's been tons of incredible people, like you said, who have done great things through abstinence. I'm just not one of them. That's for damn sure. But I believe whatever you think is true is true. With that, I want to ask a fun question. Does anybody here have some fun sexual superstitions? To that point, is there something that you do every time before? Do you have a certain ritual? Do you not have sex on a Tuesday afternoon? Yes. What's up, Shane?
Hi. Okay, so my sexual superstition is before I go on a date, I take care of my own business because then I won't want to take them home because I would have taken care of it already at home, and then the date would be not about sex, it would be about getting to know them better.
Yes, I like that.
I don't know if it's a sexual superstition, but it's definitely something that I really won't move forward with in sex, is if they can't dance. So if I see them on the dance floor and they're doing a lot of weird stuff, I'm like, all right, we're friends.
Yeah. Adrian, I'm going to put you on the spot because you had a really great one that you shared with me. I really enjoyed this story. Do you mind? Okay.
Thank you, Shan. If I am ever with a new partner, I go through like this whole get ready ritual. Like I light the Palo Santo. I put on my Sade Childish Gambino playlist. I shave very closely to everything. I meditate, I stretch, I drink like a half a gallon of water. Me and Brittany talked about this. I won't eat carbs for like the whole day. I'll do like a bunch of sit-ups. I just gotta get it right. You know what I mean? Gotta get the mind right, gotta get the body right. I do it every single time I have a new partner. The 2 times I've had a new partner in my life.
Me too. I think that was fabulous because it is about self-care. And how many people here can orgasm in their sleep? Right? Do you ever have those wet dreams? That is how powerful that your mind is. That is another sexual organ that you can take advantage of. And so it's about honoring what feels right for you. I often get the question, does eating an excessive amount of pineapples help you to taste better? And I'm like, if you think it does. In truth, drinking water and having a plant-based diet and a prolonged period of having a healthy diet, there will be what goes in is what comes out. But there is no scientific evidence that pineapples in particular create a more pleasant citrus-like taste down there or an aroma down there. But if eating a lot of pineapples makes you want to bust it open and sit on his face, by all means, eat those pineapples. So I think that this one's a really interesting one because whatever feels right for you, it's your sexual journey. It's what it is that you know to be true to yourself. Science sometimes and anecdotal are not aligned. There's nothing wrong with that. So it's important just maybe to know what the facts are, but also honor what your truth is in the process. Okay, who's ready to move on? We're going to go to 1978. This is going to be a fun one. This one we're talking about kinks. This is a conversation around kinks and consent. And it's a paragraph, but I'll try and skim through it. Okay. March 1978. My husband and I have been married for 8 years. During that entire time, he has been addicted to bondage. At first, it wasn't so bad, but over the past few years, it has gotten steadily worse. Now, sex is no longer merely unpleasant. It actually is painful. It seems it doesn't matter to my husband whether or not I get anything out of intercourse. He says that normal intercourse doesn't satisfy him. We have tried it once or twice, but it's obvious from his subsequent behavior that he is less than pleased with the results. I have tried counseling. He says it probably wouldn't work. He's afraid that if he tells anyone about it, the word will get out and he will lose his job. What do you suggest? And this is a very 1978 question, but I would love to get first reactions from you all from hearing that.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's very much to the times because it sounds like he doesn't care very much about her pleasure and what she wants. It's perfectly okay to be kinky. We've all been there. But if she's like literally in pain and not just saying like I'm not enjoying it. I mean, even if she was just like I'm not enjoying it. Sex is a two-person game. I think that's something we all know. So I'm kind of speaking the obvious. But that was my initial reaction was just like leave him because he sounds like a dick.
Yes. Brittany!
I would say to her to examine like where it lies, like where at what point is she like, okay, this is not comfortable for me, and then convey that to him, and then see from there if he can play within that realm that she's comfortable with.
Yes. There's a big difference between kink and fetish. Anyone know what the difference is? I will. So kink is something that you enjoy, like a sexual play that is a fun, awesome addition to you. Whereas in fetish is really a part of your sexual arousal cycle. It's not a optional component to your sexual self. To you, it genuinely is as important as seeing butts or boobs or vulvas or penises or nipples or buttholes or gooches might be for someone else. It's a part of what their sexual arousal cycle requires. And so it sounds like in this particular case, the husband, for him, like this was a fetish. Like bondage was a really important part of his sexual expression, and it sounds like he was incompatible with his wife in that way. Now, in 2019, we have incredible websites like kink.com. We have incredible communities that specifically dedicate towards BDSM and dominatrixes in general, and that actually didn't have to include sex at all. A lot of the practices of bondage and BDSM have nothing to do with people being unclothed, but it's the power play that person might enjoy. So it sounds like that individual need to find that community. I would like to pulse the room on this. If you're married with somebody who has a sexual fetish, I mean, again, it's a really big part. They have a foot fetish. It's something that for them is an intrinsic part of their sexual arousal cycle, and it's not your jam. How would you manage that?
I have a mic in my hand now.
It looks good on you. Maybe you just look good.
Thank you. So I'm just going to go into the question. But I appreciate that. I think the best way to kind of go about that, because like there's a way that you could go about it. It's a conversation, something that you got to build and ask for. But if there's something that you're into that your partner's not into, I mean, maybe that may be a sense of way of how you, if you believe in, I guess, but you could somewhat open your relationship to that and that option if you believe in that sense. For me personally, like you're not going to be able to fill in all the gaps of your partner in some senses. So in that case, it's like if you're comfortable with taking a step back and realizing that that thing's just a part of who they are and you can accept that, then that's cool. Then if you can't, then there must be a different way to restructure it for you, but that's based on how it is for you. But that would be how I would try to handle that. And that's the only thing that I can offer in that sense.
That's a word. I like that. Did you have a mini hand, or were you just like stretching just your wrist? That was made up? Okay.
I wonder as well if it's worth understanding their perspective, like what is so hot about my big toe?
Right.
Because if I know, then maybe I'm going to think that's hot too.
Yes.
So it's it's talking about that, and that starts with trust, that starts with communication. But yeah, it's just being really honest about like what you want and why you want that.
I love this question because I hope this is a sign of the times. Like I'm sure we can all relate to some capacity or know of a friend who can relate to this, but I would hope that now there's a lot more of that going around. Understanding, research, community seeking, and finding consensual ways to express yourself through your partner, to talk about your needs and talk about alternate options that might be available to you that don't include either person conforming to something that they just simply don't want to do or that doesn't turn them on in that way. So I would think if this person was around today, hopefully there would be a lot more grace and conversation around BDSM and alternate options for them to engage. I can only imagine what his letter is going to sound like on the flip side, but it just sounds to me like two partners who are on different pages. But to your point, we can't expect to be compatible with our partners in every single possible way. There's going to be different nuances to that, and we have to accept the fact that sexuality is not linear. It's not one size fits all. But hopefully these are conversations you have before you get married. Is there anybody here who is into BDSM or into bondage? Oh, I mean, you just raised your hand right away, so I'll take you. Oh, no, come up. Can I play with you? Okay. Anybody who wants a brief intro? I actually forgot my rope at home, so.
So did I.
No, I'm tying you up, honey. A really basic bondage form. I mean, mind you, there's ropes out there that are specifically designed for this that are made of nylon, that don't bruise the skin, that don't scratch against the skin. So this is something that you're interested in. Try playing with it. I did not bring mine, but I had a little nice scarf in my car. So put your hands together just like that for me. You're always going to have your rope like this. So this is called your bite. It's the center right here. It should be half and half.
I've been tying for 10 years.
Oh, so this is like, bitch, this ain't news to me. Beautiful, nice little easy rope here. We pull against the grain. As you can see, it's not circling around his skin, causing any pain or discomfort. It's just sitting nice there in the middle. If we want to secure it even a little bit more, we probably have space for one more tie here. We can go under and through. And then that's it, right? It's really about playing. Oh, you got to come with me, honey. It's really about playing. It's finding a way to do it in a way that feels powerful to your partner, that feels sensual. Or maybe they don't want to feel powerful. They want to feel like you own they shit. So it's about having that conversation, finding somebody who does want to engage with it, feels safe to you, and being able to play, learn, and I'm sure you can teach me a bunch of shit. So if anybody wants a master class afterwards, holla at your boy.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have to wrap it up. We want to open it for questions? Okay. Can we do one more? We want to do a 1990s question, and then we can use it as a closer. So we're going to skip 83 and 84. So we're going to go right to 1994. Probably when you probably weren't even born yet. It's your 22nd birthday today. Happy birthday! Happy birthday! So that means you were born in like what? 90s? 2001? I hate you. No? It's all 97. Yeah, nice for you. That's cute. Real cute. Okay. Recently, my brother survived a serious motorcycle accident, and now he's paraplegic. He's adjusting pretty well in his return to work, but he gets depressed about having to hang up his sex life at 28. Is there anything he can do? Does he have to hang up his sex life at 28? No. I think sexual reinvention is such a massive part of this play, right? When we think about sex ed in school, right, it's 2 weeks, as if that's all the time it takes to understand the breadth of your sexual self. We are all put on this planet to do wonderful many things, but the base of it all is to survive and to procreate. That means 50% of your life and your life decisions are somewhat based around your sexual desire, your sexual urges, and your sexual expression. And that expression changes time and time again. We reinvent ourselves constantly. We find new ways to play and to explore pleasure. So I would love to open this up to the floor as our final hurrah. What are some ways that you have redefined pleasure for yourself? Through the ages, through time, through changes, through getting to know yourself, how have you been able to redefine pleasure?
Watching porn.
Ooh, what categories, girl?
I can't say that in public.
Okay, I respect that. I respect that. Anybody else? Oh, yes, please, Ari.
Just recently, I've opened myself up more to exploring all aspects of like my masculinity and my femininity in bed, and that's been kind of a little nerve-wracking. I'm not gonna lie. Like sometimes I'm like, oh shit, am I really like open to opening myself, literally? But it's been really cool because I think I had an idea of how sex was supposed to happen forever. We all have this idea when we start that like how sex is supposed to happen with your partners, and with each new partner I've added, I too am a hoe, by the way, so yeah. With each partner I've learned something, and it's been great. And I think that now I'm just like I'm really interested in shedding all these different all the different things that other people told me how my sex was supposed to be, as a queer person, as a black person, as a non-binary person exploring this world. So yeah, just wanted to add that.
Yes. Brittany! So Ari, can you slide it over?
For me, I wouldn't really experience touch between people or myself and someone else unless it was sexual. So for me, I realized how I've been redefining sex is before getting into the actual act, playing with closeness or proximity or, just getting used to them either touching my body or me touching them before we're actually having sex.
I love that pro tip.
Thanks.
I love you, Brittany. You know that. Hey, Mr. Two-Time Tinny.
Well, I notice about myself, like, I really enjoy sex when I'm having a great day, if I'm feeling really good. So if my partner is like, when I come home, it's going down. So I'm like, I'll have that piece of cake that I want, or I'll eat that turkey burger that I want. I'll watch that show that I like, and I'll like go outside and have the sun hit me. So I can feel good.
Expanding the pleasure.
I expand the pleasure that way. So that way when it's time to, engage, I really feel good because I've had a great day.
I want to expand the pleasure to all of you. This has been a pleasurable conversation. If you want to give your partner beside you just an act of pleasure, it can be a high five if that feels good for you. It can be a hug. It can be a word of affirmation. Let's just share a little pleasure around here. Sprinkle it around. We're going to close this out in a second. We have time for 3 questions. If anybody has questions, comments, something that you want to just share with the group. Oh, yes. Señorita. Just because your dress looks like that emoji. Oh, yes.
I want to know how you feel about masturbation and if that affects, can you masturbate too much? Or is there an effect, I don't know, I masturbate a lot. And sometimes I feel like it affects my workflow, or sometimes I won't be able to concentrate until I masturbate, with work and stuff. So is there, I guess I don't know, I guess how do we feel about masturbation? And is there a negative?
No, there's actually the reverse stat. So
Okay.
the reverse stat is 2 to 3 times a week is great to have some type of sexual release. Orgasm releases DHEA. It makes you look younger for longer. It reduces your risk of heart disease by increasing circulation. It releases immunoglobulins, which boosts your immune system. It makes your hair grow longer. It makes your teeth stronger. It releases de-stressing hormones, so it makes you more relaxed throughout the day. It can help you go to sleep as well, too. So orgasm has innumerable amounts of health benefits. And the way I always see it is if we weren't meant to orgasm, why didn't you put my shit on my back, somewhere here? It's right here. It's so convenient. Why would I not do that all the time? But I will say that I have heard from some people in particular that frequent stimulation with a vibrator, especially if it's multiple times a day, can cause some someone help me out. We're in this together. But I would just go with what feels great for you. I love that comment about extending the pleasure, right? It's what brings you pleasure and joy in your life and allows you to go out there looking, feeling, and being your best self, which based on Exhibit A, you've accomplished that. So masturbate on. Touch on.
Oh, yeah. I just want to comment on that real quick. Shannon changed my mind with this. I felt very gross about myself for masturbating, for just my whole life. And she was the first person I talked to about that. And she completely changed my mind on it completely and changed how I feel about it. And one of the words that you said was, how can you just be such a lover and love so many other people and you don't love yourself, right? And then it sat with me for a while, and then I was like, wait, yeah, I can take care of myself. It was a process, you guys, but she also gifted me with that Crave vibrator, and I wear it around my neck, and I'm telling you, I don't travel, I don't go anywhere without that thing, and it's a beautiful experience. Thank you, Shannon, for changing my life. It's beautiful.
I love you, Amber. I do.
Just something really, really, really fast, right? I got to where I'm at today. My background is webcam. I used to be a webcam model. So playing with vibrators was something that I probably did 10 hours a day. Now, if you do play with a vibrator a lot and you find yourself getting desensitized or, desensitized, the way desensitized, the way to bring it back regular is just to turn down the speed. Turn down the speed. Be at that speed for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, we can do a final comment from our first commenter. This is a nice full circle moment. Would you mind standing?
Those things
Safety
are always
first.
hitting me in the head. Okay, I can't.
Oh,
I'll be
just a
behind
little
it.
twerk squat's nice too.
Okay. And I didn't grow up in a household where honesty was an option,
right? We were always supposed to be completely honest. And I know that your private life is your private life. And when you meet somebody, and when we were talking about, when someone says, how many people have you been with, or what do you do, and how honest can you be? And I think in that situation, if that person is someone who you don't feel comfortable being honest with, that's a really important thing. And the consequences that if you want someone to be honest with you, if you immediately apply a consequence to their honesty, you limit the capability of that honesty.
Yes.
You stop them from being able to just be open all the time, right? So you actually push the truths back into the closet. So if you eliminate the consequences for honesty and you choose who you're honest with based on, whether their reason for needing your honesty, if you've got some crazy boyfriend or girlfriend or some person who's kind of like, I need everything, I need to know where you were today, it's an interrogation, that's a little dangerous of a situation. Your honesty isn't even valuable there, they're just gonna use it. But if you have someone who loves you and just wants to know about your day, all of the honesty just comes right out. You want to tell them everything that happened. So I guess what I'm saying is I believe that if you can truly be honest with someone, then that's kind of the heart of consent, because their decisions are based on what you're telling them. But if you hold something back, then you're using their response without their actual consent, because you're not giving them the information that they would have used to make the decision. So I just feel like if you feel like you can't be honest with them, don't, but also let them go, kind of thing.
Can I request permission for a mic drop moment? Is that permissible with the sound requirements? Just a visual one. That was fantastic. One of my favorite things I did for myself in 2016, we went to school. When you go through school for sexology, you do a course that's called Sexual Attitude Readjustment. That's 40 hours of porn, all kinds of porn. And the goal of it is that no matter what someone tells me, I'm never going to have that face, right? I'm going to be like, that's fascinating. I think coming from sexuality with the that's fascinating base, not that's weird, that's gross, that's not me, I would never do that, but that's fascinating, tell me more. And if we explore our sexual lives with that as our base, I think the sky is the limit, or the carpet's the limit, depending on your comfort level. But this has been a fascinating conversation. I think that we have proven that there are numerous amounts of sex experts, relationship experts, intimacy experts in this room. Thank you for sharing your gifts with me. Thank you for sharing this vulnerable space with me. I've had an incredible time. Let's keep the conversation going.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, one more time for Shan Boodram, please. Stand up. Stand. I think we need a shag carpet, standing ovation for Shan, because this was incredible. You're amazing. You're amazing.